Hello YouTube, this is Stick152. So I have an addendum to the demo I did the other day on the 1.1 radio and Morse code signal communications pack. So I was doing a little thinking, and I had the tags for the LOS zone and for the jammer zone on the radio object, and I also had the loss of signal fall off scalar on the radio object. And that was okay at the time if you only had one or two, but in a case where you have a huge level, multiplayer, 500 people in there, you'd have to set that for each one. And then you can only have, one loss of signal scalar factor for that radio, whereas what I really wanted was to be able to say for this loss of signal zone, this one is like really bad at eating up your signal, this one's not so bad. So what I did is I went ahead and created a couple of classes here. You can see them here. That essentially what you do now for the loss of signal, you just drag this onto this. It creates this class instance. You have your fall off scalar here. We'll set this something high so we can use a small radius. It automatically adds a trigger if there isn't one present and sets its radius. And if there's not a rigid body, it adds it and sets it to kinematic. Because of the way that the triggers work, something that collides with it has to have a rigid body, otherwise the trigger won't fire. Okay, and then for the same thing for the jamming zone, we'll just drag the jamming zone on there, and it creates all the stuff that you need on it. Now when we play it, turn that down. So then if you grab this jammer, you put it on there, and it just doesn't work. And then if you go and you grab the loss of signal zone, you'll get your signal fall off. And then that way you can create another one, like say this one we bumped up to, let's make that like 100, so it's really terrible. And then maybe create another one that's not so bad. And we'll put a loss of signal zone on it and just use the default 2. You won't notice it at this radius, but well, let's say 20. Alright, so then that way when we drag this one on there, it's just a little bit, versus when we put this one, it gets really bad. So anyway, I went ahead and got that in there. And then there's one other feature that I added that I didn't have in that video, and I had a little extra time left over. So I went ahead and created an iambic paddle or straight key selection for the Morse code generation. So when you go over to your walkie-talkie in this case, you see here under the Morse code emitter, you now have a straight key or iambic paddle. And the straight key doesn't use the words per minute value here, but what it does do is lets you use just the standard Morse code key. And with the auto detection on this guy for words per minute, it'll kind of bounce around. So if you watch this value and using the straight key, and you have to code really precisely, and so typically when you're using a straight key, you turn off automatic word per minute and then set what you think it is kind of by ear, and use the delay fine tune to get it close. However, if you go over here to the iambic paddle, I'm going to give it like 20 words a minute. Go back over here to this test receiver. Now watch the decode word per minute. It sits at 20 where I have it set, and it picks it up. So it's much easier, and now you get really super clean code. And also, because it's an iambic paddle, you can do by holding both buttons down at the same time, and that'll just do for a long time. So anyway, that's the addendum. That's the new stuff, and I'll be resubmitting this morning back to Unity. But anyway, I hope you like it. If you have any questions or anything, post it down in the comments section, and thanks for watching.